going on, my Central Unit? It's the Central Man here, so back again with another classic WWE pay-per-view review. This time, going to review WWF Unforgiven 1999. This show was at the Charlotte Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is WCW/NWA territory on the 26th of September 1999. The attendance for the show was 15,779, and the pay-per-view buy rate for Unforgiven of 1999 is I think it was a 330,000 pay-per-view buys, a massive increase from the very first Unforgiven show that was in 1998. I think that was about 309,000 pay-per-view buys. Yeah, this is the second ever Unforgiven pay-per-view in WWF/WWE history, because the first one was in 1998. This is the first one in September, because the first one was in April. It was the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania 14, and then they moved it into the September slot, because and they became the traditional September pay-per-view in WWF/WWE history. The last one was in 2008. I covered that one on my channel a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, this pay-per-view is memorable for two things. Like, number one, the Kennel for Hell match. I'll get to that match a little bit later. And second, this was the final pay-per-view that Vince Russo wrote for the Federation before going to WCW. Anyway, the commentators for the show is Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. The big storyline for the Federation at the time was the referees. They basically was on strike because they get sick of the I think it's the referee bumps and the referee, basically every wrestler sometimes attack the referees. Basically they're just tired of it. You had Teddy Long, Tim White, the Hebners, Brian and Earl Hebner. And also, I think, what's his name? Mike Cordera, is it Cordera? Anyway, so you got the scab referees, referee the matches on the show. Basically, you had Steve Lombardi, the Brooklyn Brawler, Harvey Whipperman, Tom Pritchard, and Jim Corderas. Anyway, so the first match to kick off Unforgiven of 1999, we got Val Venis versus Steve Blackman. No really build to this. Basically, you had Val Venis holding like Steve Blackman's weapons. He had a bag full of weapons. I'm guessing he stole the weapon bag from Blackman because, Steve Blackman is the martial arts guy and Val Venis is the porno guy, the porn star. Yeah, this match was okay. It wasn't really a bad match, but it wasn't great. It was just a basic standard one-on-one match, nothing special. In the end, you had basically Val Venis hit the money shot onto Blackman to score the victory. At the end of this match, basically you had, after this match, you had Val Venis grab like a candlestick out of Blackman's weapon bag, trying to hit Blackman. I think Blackman basically kicked him right in the I think he kicked him right in the hips or the lower back, grabbed the candlestick, smacked Val Venis in the head of the candlestick, and then you got like the Brooklyn Brawler asking for medical attention, and I think like Blackman got in the face of this female paramedic. That female paramedic is later on become BB Barbara Bush. And then, and he got in the face of I think he's the security guard called Jim Dobson. And Dobson, basically, he didn't tackle him, basically rugby tackled Blackman. And that was it. So, yeah, this was basically added to the last minute. This is a match you probably see on Raw, SmackDown, or even on Heat. Okay, and then we got the European title match. That's the next match. We got Mark Henry defending the belt against D'Lo Brown, two former members of the Nation of Domination. So the build-up to this, Mark Henry basically had higher blood pressure, and you got D'Lo trying to train him to get into good shape. They were jogging together, basically working out in the gym together. There was one scene like they're in this cafe or this catering area. They were eating like jacket potatoes with salad, and Mark Henry says, "Can I have some butter or sauce or whatever, or really something. Then at SummerSlam, basically Mark Henry cost D'Lo Brown the IC title match against Jeff Jarrett. Actually, no, it's the European title, sorry. He cost him the European title in the match with Jeff Jarrett. And then afterwards, Jeff Jarrett awarded Mark Henry the European title. At this point, Mark Henry was doing the sexual chocolate gimmick. And the funny part, the pre-start of this match, before the start of this match, you had, in this interview segment, you had Mark Henry basically whisper in the ear of Lillian Garcia, because she was just before she became a ring announcer, and Lillian basically smacked Mark Henry in the face. And then he came down the ring, called promo. He said like he's not going to defend the European title on the show because he suffered a brainism. I know it's an aneurysm, but you call it a brainism because he got slapped in the face by Lillian Garcia. Anyway, this match was fun. This was a fun match. You know, this is way better than the opening match between Foul Venus and Blackman. It was a fun match. You know, it had some good timing. In the end, you had Mark Henry doing the punches in the corner, you know, and D'Lo kind of countered into a sit-down powerbomb, and then he hit the frog splash to win this match and regained the European title. I know it's a European title. I almost say Intercontinental title because I think the later on really call it they call it the Eurocontinental Championship, because if you hold both the European title and the IC title together. So anyway, D'Lo regained the title, and this was the long title drive for Mark Henry, because I think it's the second time that the European title never won in a match, because when Midian found the European title in Shane McMahon's gym bag, and then Jeff Jarrett awarded the European title for Mark Henry because he helped win this match against D'Lo Brown at SummerSlam. Mark Henry will win another title a decade later in 2008 at Night of Champions. He won the ECW title, and then 3 years later he'll win the World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton at Night of Champions in 2011. So, moving on to the next match. The next match, we've got the Intercontinental Championship match. We've got Jeff Jarrett versus China. So, basically, Jeff Jarrett, he really offered a contract for any wrestler to face him at Unforgiven. The two persons saw the contract in Jeff Jarrett's locker room door with Billy Gunn and China. Billy Gunn trying to find a pen. China got a pen underneath her bra, write her name, and basically she beat Billy Gunn in a match to officially become the #1 contender for Jeff Jarrett's championship. On the other hand, Jeff Jarrett was kind of being the dick. He was basically being this anti-feminist person, being down, treating women like shit. Yeah, you can't really do it right now. If it's right now, people will get offended. But since it's in the 90s, it's building Jeff Jarrett as a dick. He's hating women. I think the most memorable hit both Mae Young. I think he hit Mae Young with a guitar shot to the head. I think he locked Moolah May with the figure 4 leg lock. So anyway, I think he kind of attacked Lillian Garcia. So anyway, on a go home show to SmackDown, basically China beating down Jeff Jarrett, remove his shorts and wear his shorts at the same time. Basically, it's a sign the woman wears the pants around here. Anyway, this match was, in my opinion, this is match of the night for me. Match of the night. I think China and Jarrett have some good chemistry. China, I think she's an okay worker. I think Jarrett's a better worker. I think both good workers. They have good chemistry. It was really good. The interference. This is Vince Russell-esque. Everyone is a lot of interference. I kind of love this match because it fits in this storyline between Jeff Jarrett. It was back and forth. You have the end of the match. You had basically Mae Young and Mulan. Basically, they were sitting in the crowd. They came out of the crowd, attacked Jeff Jarrett. Attempt to attack Jeff Jarrett. I think they hit a double suplex. And Jarrett hit the double clothesline on both Mae and Mulan. And then you got Deborah. Basically, is Jeff Jarrett's former manager. I think Jarrett dumped Deborah for Miss Kitty. Miss Kitty is basically the cat. I think at the time she was dating Jerry the King Lawler and later on married. Anyway, she came down to the ring, pushed over Miss Kitty, grabbed the guitar. I feel like Jarrett was going for the figure four leg lock onto Chyna. Deborah smacked the guitar in the head of Jeff Jarrett. Chyna pins Jarrett, and Chyna became the first and only woman to win the IC title belt. Unfortunately, there's a swerve. You know, typical. This is a typical Vince Russo show. Basically, Dr. Tom came out. You know, the scab referee in this match was Harvey Whipperman, and Dr. Tom, he was wearing blue pants before leather baits. Basically, grabbed the title away from Chyna and found out this match was ruled as a disqualification because Deborah interfered. And Chyna got pissed off, attacked Dr. Tom, and basically pedigreed Dr. Tom as well. And this is really funny about Chyna. She was in this weird role at the time because one thing, she's kind of like this hero to the women, and on the other hand, she was basically allied herself with Triple H. You know, you can tell she's trying to slowly break away from Triple H's shadow. Yeah, you know, I thought Chyna would win this title on this show. Unfortunately, she won't win the title at the next month's pay-per-view. That was No Mercy. I think it's called a housemaid match or the housekeeping match. Chyna, you know, that was another good match. That Chyna defeats Jarrett for the belt. And yeah, Chyna won't get her moment in the sun just yet. I think they should have done it on this show instead of No Mercy. That's just me. Because, you know, it was good. I don't mind the interference because it told it added to the storyline. You know, May Muller, you know, got involved. Deborah got involved, and you know, I was okay with it. But yeah, they should have done the title change on this show, but instead of No Mercy. That's just me. And by the way, this is Jarrett's second to last pay-per-view appearance before going to WCW. I think it was after when WWE, you know, so really went public, you know, the stock market trade. That was in, like, what was it, November of 1999, I think. Yeah, overall, yeah, the Jarrett versus Chyna match, for me, this is match of the night. It was pretty entertainment. Okay, and then we got the Acolytes versus the Dudleys. This is the Dudleys' first pay-per-view appearance because they came from ECW. You know, Bob Ray was doing the stuttering gimmick. I thought they dropped it because it was stupid. Because it's just taking a piss of someone had a stuttering problem. I got a stuttering problem, but yeah, it's just poor in taste. I glad they dropped it. Anyway, the match was okay. You know, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like a 4-star classic. But it was okay. In my opinion, it was a bit boring, to be honest. In the end, you had Stevie Richards came out of nowhere. Basically, used just up in Acolyte's gear. Basically, hit Devon with the Stevie kick. The Acolytes got the victory. And then afterwards, they attacked Stevie Richards as well. You basically, when Stevie Richards is on the ground, basically one of them kind of shake his hand and left. He's doing the whole doing the parody of gimmicks. This is like a decade before Charlie Haas will do it in 2008. Anyway, so yeah, this was okay. Yeah, the Dudleys will earn their stripes following year in 2000. They'll become a popular tag team in the company in 2000. You know, in the Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania 16, and also the very first TLC match at SummerSlam with, you know, Edge and Christian and the Hardys. So they're not quite there yet, but you know, they're okay. You know, they're still unknown in the big company because the Acolytes were the popular tag team at the time, alongside with the New Age Outlaws. Anyway, moving on to the next match, we've got the women's title match. We've got Ivory versus Luna Vachon. This was not good. This is not a good match. It was a mess. It was a messy brawl. They were basically fine near the backstage area. You got another a really outside interference, I'm trying to say. Sorry. Typical Vince Russo-esque show. You got Tori, not Tori as Tori Wilson. Her real name is Terry Pooch. Interfered. I feel like Luna interfered in Irene and Tori's match from weeks ago. And then, you know, this is the reverse role. So anyway, Tori trying to interfere. I think like Ivory basically kind of attacked her, put her in this type of box. In the end, Ivory, I think pins Luna Vachon for the victory, retains the women's title, and then afterwards she kind of got in the face of Fabulous Moolah. They end up brawling. This is set up I think it was set up the match at No Mercy. Ivory versus Fabulous Moolah. Moolah wins the title on that show, and she became the oldest champion, women's champion in WWF/WWE history. Ivory's physique is good. She's got good abs. I think before she was a wrestler, she was a bodybuilder. Man, she's got a good body, Ivory, man. Anyway, moving on to the WWF Tag Team title match. We got the New Age Outlaws versus Edge and Christian. This is their first tag team reunited because their singles run pushes was flopping. Really, it was a massive flop. Road Dogg was not doing anything at the time. Billy Gunn, he won the King of the Ring of 1999, and also his momentum was gone after, basically Rock cut that God promo, and also beating him at SummerSlam. So they're reunited. Once again, they're basically, Billy Gunn's a babyface again. Edge and Christian was basically not quite, they're on the same level as the Dudleys. They're not quite there yet. They're babyfaces. They'll later on become heels, doing the whole 5-second pose that really got them over. And this match is decent. This was a decent, good match. This is way better than the Acolytes and Dudley Boys match. That was a bit boring. This was good. This was decent. In the end, and once again, another outside interference. They did it at Jarrett versus China, Acolytes, Dudleys, Ivory, Luna Vachon, and now this match. You got the Hardys. At this time, they're the New Brood, basically because Gangrel betrayed Edge and Christian to join the Hardy side. Jeff Hardy basically drop kicked Edge off the top rope, and then you got Gangrel and Matt Hardy basically beating down Christian. In the end, Billy Gunn hit the famous onto Edge to win this match and retain the WWF Tag Team Championships. And also, this is setting up the it was basically a ladder match at No Mercy. They call it the WWF the Terry Invitational Tournament, or the TIT. That was between Edge and Christian, and the Hardys. That really put both tag teams on the map in the WWF. And then we got the most infamous match in pro wrestling history. We got Al Snow defend the Hardcore title against Big Boss Man in the Kennel Through Hell match. It's basically a Hell in a Cell match and a steel cage all in one. So basically they feud in the summer. They had a match at Fully Loaded, and they had the match at SummerSlam. I think the Boss Man won the title, and they furthered up the storyline. You had Big Boss Man kidnapping Al Snow's dog Pepper. Pepper's the Chihuahua, and it's really funny. I think it's on a SmackDown. It was a funny segment. Basically, you had the Big Boss Man killing and cooking up Al Snow's dog Pepper. It was a pepper chicken, and it's kind of funny. But it's cringe. It was stupid, but kind of funny at the same time. So yeah, basically, after Al Snow retained the title from Bossman on SmackDown, and then before he rescued Pepper, but Bossman attacked him, really kidnapping the dog. It was kind of stupid. I'm losing my marbles, but it is kind of stupid, but it's funny at the same time. So anyway, so this match, this is fucking sucks, man. This was so stupid. I'm laughing my ass off, man. You got mostly you got Rottweilers in the cage. They didn't do anything. They're basically fighting each other and mostly just shitting and pissing. It's just so fucking stupid. I'm gonna keep it short and simple. Al Snow got the victory. Basically, get out through the cage door. I think Bossman trying to get out the cell wall. So yes, Al Snow retained the title. And it's a bad Hell in a Cell match. You can really call it a Hell in a Cell match because the first one he had in 1999, this was months ago at WrestleMania 15. He had a bad match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 15 in the Hell in a Cell match that led to Undertaker handing the Big Boss Man, and now this fiasco, man. So I don't want to get into it. I'm glad they never done one ever since, and the Dogs did not have a big impact in this match. So they didn't going after the Al Snow and the Boss Man. They're just fighting each other, piss and shitting, outside the ring. It's so fucking stupid, man. Go and check out on YouTube. Just type in Al Snow, really Al Snow, Big Boss Man Pepper hotel segment. It's funny, it's stupid but funny at the same time. So anyway, and Al Snow will be not Al Snow, Big Boss Man will be in the WWF title picture at the end of the year. Anyway, moving on to the next match. The next match, we've got Chris Jericho versus S-Pac. This is Chris Jericho's first pay-per-view appearance because he debuted in the summer. I think it was on a Raw. He had a segment on SummerSlam with the Road Dogg. I think he was feuding with both the Road Dogg and Ken Shamrock. Originally, it was supposed to be Chris Jericho versus Ken Shamrock because Jericho was feuding with Shamrock. The build up to this show. Unfortunately, they had a match. I think it was on a SmackDown. It was a First Blood match. Shamrock basically got injured, and then he quit the company. I think his last pay-per-view match for the company was at SummerSlam of that same year, and I think it was against Steve Blackman in I think it's the Lions Den match. I'll explain more of Ken Shamrock's run if I review SummerSlam 1999. That's in the future. Yeah, his run, it's a damn shame, what might have been, but he had a decent career in the Federation. He debuted at 1997. He was a referee in the match between Bret Hart and Steve Austin. He had a feud with the Hart Foundation, the Nation of Domination, part of the corporation, and I think he became a two-time IC champion, I think. Anyway, so basically basically Ken Shamrock's last-minute replacement is X-Pac. No build to this. Basically, X-Pac is just basically the last-minute replacement of Ken Shamrock. This was a good match. He had some moments. Jericho was doing stuff like saving Raw, saving the WWF. He said save the show for this boring-ass pay-per-view. He was a heel at this point. Jericho's better off as a heel than a babyface. Anyway, so yeah, it was a decent, good match. Nothing special. The DQ kind of put me off a little bit. You had some outside interference by Curtis Hughes. He was terrible. He was okay manager, but not good as a wrestler. X-Pac was going for the Bronco Buster onto Jericho, and then Curtis Hughes basically clotheslined Tom Pritchard, and then basically Jericho and Hughes beating down X-Pac. Folks, I accidentally clicked the stop button by mistake. I'm doing this on Power Director. Anyway, so like I said, Jericho and I think Curtis Hughes beating down X-Pac, and then got Road Dogg, X-Pac's fellow member of DX, basically came to the rescue, beating down both Jericho and Curtis Hughes. They left the ring, so yeah, it's a bit disappointing because this is Jericho's first pay-per-view match in the company, and he's never got the win. It didn't really hurt Jericho. He had a decent performance, but yeah, I'd rather have Jericho winning this match instead of X-Pac winning this match via the DQ. Anyway, so moving on to the main event of this show. The main event, we've got a six-pack challenge for the WWF Championship. This is for the vacated WWF Championship. So here's the storyline. Here's the build-up to this. So basically, like, Mankind won the title at SummerSlam against Stone Cold and Triple H. And then on the next night on Raw, basically Triple H won the title from Mankind. This is after like Triple H injured the arm of Jim Ross. Yeah, Triple H won the title. He became this egomaniac. I think like on the same show at SummerSlam injured the leg of Austin. Then on SmackDown, this was during the you can find this on the YouTube channel of the WWE. Basically, it was I think it was a double it was a tag team buried alive match. I think it was Rock and Sock versus Taker and Big Show. Basically, Austin returned, attacked Triple H. Basically, I think he hit Big Show with the sledgehammer. Basically, like Austin attacked Triple H, ride on the ambulance, and then crushed the same ambulance with Triple H in it with a truck. People more talk about Hogan, basically really crashing the same ambulance with the Rock in it. This was like in 2002, building up their match at WrestleMania. Anyway, so yeah, Triple H became this egomaniac. I think he injured the arm of Jim Ross, and also he was getting in the face of Linda McMahon, and then bringing back Vince McMahon back into the picture. Basically, he came back. He really self-proclaimed he's kayfabe badass because Austin defeated the Undertaker in a First Blood match at Fully Loaded. He came back three months later to fight for the honor of his wife Linda McMahon. So basically, on a SmackDown, Vince won the title from Triple H after the interference by Steve Austin, and he vacated the title to set up the six-man challenge, or six-pack challenge, sorry. Anyway, so the competitors in this match, you got Triple H, The Rock, Mankind, Kane, Big Show, and the British Bulldog, with Steve Austin being the special guest referee, not the special guest referee, but the special guest enforcer. Because Austin his body's starting to break down. He's still on TV, but he's not wrestling. This was his second to last pay-per-view appearance before he got written off at Survivor Series and getting ready for his neck injury. Anyway, neck surgery. Sorry, I'm trying to mean. Anyway, so the original member, personally, the original member for this match was possibly the Undertaker should be in this six-pack challenge because he is the poster boy for this show. Unfortunately, he's kind of like in kayfabe. He's basically said, "I'm walking out. Don't want to do this." But in reality, he took some time off because he suffered a groin injury. This is pre-Biker Taker. He's getting away from the Ministry of Darkness Taker. He came back in Judgment Day in 2000 as the American Badass. That's another story for another time. Another classic WWE pay-per-view for another time. So, basically, the British Bulldog is basically under the last-minute replacement of the Undertaker, and also the go-home show to SmackDown. Basically, Triple H was in this the 5 stages of hell. Basically, he was in a lot of gimmick matches on the same SmackDown. Basically, he was in a chokeslam, match with the Big Show, an Infernal match with Kane. A casket match, basically like, I think Mideon and Viscera were basically filling in for the Undertaker because he suffered a groin injury. A boiler room brawl with with Mankind, and then a a rope match with The Rock, with British Bulldog as the special guest referee, and Bulldog turned on The Rock, helped Triple H win. So. Anyway, and Bulldog was wearing his same gear before he ditched it, and in the rest of his run, his second run of the company, actually his third run in the company, he'll wear just the jeans and the boots. Anyway, this is similar to a match from WrestleMania 15. This was a 4-way match for the IC title belt on that same WrestleMania. It was Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, Shamrock, and Val Venis. This was a 4-way match for the IC title belt, and this was in a tag team format. This is similar to this match for the six-pack challenge. It's just a tag team format. If it was a 6-man person tag team match, I'll be okay. I'll be a fun 6-man person tag team match. Unfortunately, it wasn't a six-man tag team match. This is for the world title. It's this is supposed to be all men for yourself. I'm glad they ditched it. And you'll see these multi-man matches you see right now. I hate that because it's not really a tag team match. This is supposed to be a multi-man match. Sometimes it could be a good or bad thing, a hit or miss. This is a miss for me because the one thing that brought this match down, in my opinion, is the tag team format. Like I said, it could be a good 6-man tag team match, but unfortunately, it wasn't. The one thing there's one bonkers moment on this show, not on the show, but one bonkers thing on this match. It's the fucking referees. They came out, basically beating down Jimmy Cordera. Austin he was on commentary for the rest of the match. He got out of the commentary area, basically giving the referees, basically had like Tim White, Teddy Long, the Hebners, Chioda, Mike Chioda, sorry. Mike Chioda, and basically beating down Jimmy Cordera. Austin just gives the referees a can of whoop-ass, beating the crap out of the referees, and become the referee himself. He kind of interfered in this match as well, attacking the other competitors. In the end, you had basically he low blows the Big Show. I think like Bulldog was going to smack. I think he was trying to smack Triple H. in the back with the chair because Triple H was going for the pedigree onto The Rock. I'm guessing like Austin snatched the chair off the British Bulldog's hands, hit Bulldog with the chair. Triple H hit the pedigree onto The Rock, and Triple H win this match and regain the WWF Championship. He became a two-time WWF Champion. And by the way, it set up Triple H and Austin at No Mercy. It led to, basically Triple H self-proclaimed he got bitten by a rattlesnake, and it was a rouge all along. So anyway, Triple H, basically in the end, Triple H kind of rubbed the world title belt in the face of Austin. Austin has none of it. He gave I think he flipped off Triple H and hit him with a Stone Cold Stunner. It was understandable. He was trying to get the fans leave home happily. So anyway, so my final rating for WWF Unforgiven 1999, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I'm having mixed thoughts of basically it's bounced around between 6 or 7, but I'm gonna give it a 6. It's fairly. Yeah, the bad matches on the show, yeah, have to be like the Ivory versus Luna Vachon match. Yeah, this was a messy brawl, and also the Kennel for Hell match. That was a clusterfuck. Between Al Snow and Big Boss Man. That was crap because the dogs didn't do anything, didn't play any purpose of that match. That's in the bad. In the middle, there are only like 4 matches, actually 3 matches in the middle. I have to go with basically the opener, Foul Finisher, Steve Blackman, Acolytes versus the Dudley Boys. I'm gonna put I put the main event in the middle for me. Yeah, had some moments, but like I said, I think doing this in a tag team format, it kind of brought this match down for me. And on the good, I think in the good, you had some good matches on the show. Let me think. You got match of the night for me has to be Jeff Jarrett versus China. Mark Henry versus D'Lo Brown. That was a decent, good match. New Age Outlaws versus Edge and Christian for the tag team belts. That was also good as well, decent. And Jericho and X-Pac. I know the DQ kind of it was disappointed, but it was still a good match. So 4 good. Yeah, 4 good, 3 in the middle, and 2 in the bad. So basically, this was not too bad show for the Federation. And by the way, yeah, this was Vince Russo's final pay-per-view to roll for the World Wrestling Federation before going to WCW. He said in interviews that the reason why he left because 2 weeks later, because the company, the bulk of the roster touring in the UK, Vince Russo signed with the company WCW because I think he said in an interview that he got overpaid. No, he didn't got paid, and also he was overworked. If that's the reason. I'm not going to get in much about Russo's time as the head of WCW. That's another topic for another time. So yeah, it's a shame that his run as the head writer of WCW didn't live up the hype when he was the writer in the World Wrestling Federation. And also there was also the last pay-per-view right. Yeah, his co-writer Ed Ferrer also left the company as well. This was his last pay-per-view appearance. He was a co-writer, Ed Ferrer. Sorry. He went to WCW as well. The first pay-per-view they wrote was Halloween Havoc of 1999, and Ed Ferrer will become Oklahoma, basically taking the piss out of Jim Ross because of the belt policy thing. Anyway, so yeah, I think he came back in 2002. That's only for like weeks, and then he left on very bad terms. So yeah, Russo for years he said he took all the credit because he's the one who created the Attitude Era. I disagree with him. I think he played a massive part of the success of the Attitude Era. Yeah, I think 1998, 98 is kind of like the heydays. I think the successful years has to be 2000 and 2001. They are the most successful years of the Attitude Era. So yeah, it's Vince Russo's final pay-per-view he wrote for the Federation. It wasn't a bad show, wasn't fantastic, because the Attitude Era is not really an era that produce a lot of great matches, but it's all about just storylines and characters. It's into that soap opera direction. I like the Ruthless Aggression era and later eras of the WWE because the match quality was a little bit better than the Attitude Era, because he has some 1 or 2 good matches sometimes, but it's mostly just just storylines and characters. I'm not disking it, but I'm just saying. So yeah, it was an okay show for Vince Russo's final pay-per-view as the head writer before going to WCW. Anyway, so that's my review of WWF Unforgiven 1999. Hope you like it. Leave your thoughts on the comment section below, smash the like button, and subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Next time, I know that, Unforgiven 1999, it was a September pay-per-view, but I did, like, fucking WrestleManias, 2 WrestleMania pay-per-views in fucking, I think it was May. And also did a SummerSlam pay-per-view in the same month. So, we're in Hell in a Cell season. We're in October right now. But yeah, Hell in a Cell is about 2 weeks away. Let's review the very first Hell in the Cell pay-per-view, because this year's edition, you got 3 Hell in a Cell matches, I think. Let's do the first one with all 3 cell matches. I'm talking about Hell in the Cell 2009. You had Punk versus Taker, DX versus Legacy, like Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus Rhodes and DiBiase, and John Cena versus Randy Orton. So that'll be next week. So this is the Central Man officially signing out, and check you later.